BJP has now just released their Goa list of candidates, and former Minister Manohar Parrikar's son's name seems to be missing from that. Srinivasan Jain on the phone line to put the story in perspective for us. Vasu? All right, as we wait for that phone line to get connected, so that's the detail NDTV is picking up as of this moment. The BJP list is out, but Manohar Parrikar, BJP is one of the most celebrated leaders there. His son's name is missing. Vasu, I believe we have you now. Take us through this story in the context.
Right, Sonal. So basically, it appears now that the BJP's first list of candidates from Goa, 34 out of 40 names that they released, does not have the name of Manohar Parrikar's son, Utpal Parrikar, in the list. Now, if you remember, Utpal Parrikar had said he would like to stand from the Panjim seat. This was his father's bastion, where late Manohar Parrikar, who was one of the BJP's most iconic leaders in Goa, had contested and won many times. He had staked claim for that seat, but the BJP instead has given the seat to Babush Monserrate, who's a controversial MLA. He's faced several criminal charges in the past, and he's someone who's actually the sitting MLA from that seat. He had left the Congress and crossed over to the BJP, and he has been given that seat now in place of Utpal Parrikar. Now, Utpal Parrikar had said that regardless of whether he gets the seat or not, he will try to make a bid for it. And if you remember, other parties, other opposition parties, non-BJP parties like the Shiv Sena had said that if Utpal Parrikar makes a bid for the Panjim seat, then all non-BJP parties should come together and support him. So that particular seat could become controversial for the BJP. In addition to that, Sonal, the other possible point of contention could become the fact that the BJP, which is in principle opposed to giving both husbands and wives tickets in the same election, has fielded not just Babush Monserrate, but his wife Jennifer Monserrate from a neighboring constituency. So both husband and wife, both of whom are imports from the Congress, will be fighting alongside each other on the BJP ticket. In addition to that, there's another husband and wife couple that seems to have emerged from the BJP list. In addition to Vishwajit Rane, who's a Congress import again and who's a minister in the BJP government fighting from his seat, it appears that his wife, Divya Vishwajit Rane, has been given a seat to fight from a neighboring seat where his father, Pratap Singh Rane, who's a Congress stalwart, is already contesting. So a father-in-law and a daughter-in-law will be facing off in that particular seat. It's called the podium seat. But what has ended up as a result is that you've got two examples on the Goa list of the BJP having fielded both husband and wife, in addition, of course, now to this possible controversy over not giving Utpal Parrikar the Panjim seat.
Yeah, Vasu, the decision by the opposition had been very public. We'd heard Shiv Sena and several other parties quite publicly say that they will be backing Utpal as well. Despite that, BJP not even considering this. What do you think are the factors there?
Clearly, Sonal, winnability is the factor because Devendra Fadnavis, who is the Goa in charge for the BJP, a former Maharashtra Chief Minister, made it clear that just because Utpal is Manohar Parrikar's son, that doesn't automatically qualify him for the seat. Even though, of course, we've seen within the BJP itself, often children do inherit the seats of their parents. But in this particular case, I think winnability, as I mentioned, is a factor. The BJP wants to fight and win every seat in what is promising to be quite a chaotic, closely fought election. And since Babush Monserrate is already the sitting MLA there, he is considered to be one of Goa's heavyweight politicians. He has won that seat in the past. He has influence over that Panjim area. And despite the fact that he is someone with a tainted past, despite the fact that he is from the Congress and in fact has switched to all parties in his political career, the BJP has decided to go with him, as I said, because the key idea is to win rather than go into the question of sentiment. And I think that's where Utpal has lost out. But whether he throws his hat in the ring and which parties now back him is something we'll have to see.